before, after. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Map Making with Sparks. I've been busy. I've seriously tidied this thing up. I mean, it's a lot more compact now, and I've invented a new kind of timer for this, which I think is pretty neat. Before I had this long repeater chain running through here, as you saw, and now I've got this really cool thing. Aerofite gave me a bit of a hand with this because it was causing problems, but basically I'll just run this. I also made a slight change to the wall over here, which I think you'll like. If I run that, you can see that a little grass block gets spawned here, and that has got a despawn time of about 20 seconds. And when it despawns, it's going to power this command block, which basically runs a timer, and that's how that works. It's pretty cool. I'll show you the command. So it summons an item above the next pressure plate. The ID of 2 is grass block. It has a value of count of 1, damage of 0, and then it has this age marker. Age is 5985, and I think the maximum age is 5600, something like that. That's in ticks. So basically it creates this really compact timer, which is just a pressure plate and a torch and a command block, which I really like because it can create any time from 1 tick to 5 minutes. So very cool. This wall over here, it felt really weird how it was just disappearing. So it's giving me all my stuff. So what I've done now is I've used the replace feature, and you get this really, and I got rid of the ding, the really high ding at the end, and replaced it with a TNT explosion. You get this. Oh yeah, I think that looks a lot better. Before, the wall just vanished, but now we have this really nice explosion thing. So quite pleased with that. They've fixed the set block issue. There's our grass block, which I'm really pleased about. However, I slightly misunderstood it in negative coordinates. So here we go, and boom. I think that looks pretty cool. So yeah, I built this little thing down here because I wasn't sure, because it was spawning here and was going to spawn here because there was an offset of 2 issue. But I think I slightly misunderstood the issue, and I think it's going to spawn here, which I can check by triggering it all. But yeah, we're in 1.7 and things are happening. Let's ready this team and ready this team and join the light team for good measure. 2, 1. This is another thing I need to replace. Yep, it spawned right there. So all we need to do to fix this is move things a little bit and get the redstone sorted. I'll do that quickly. Okay, I decided to just change the coordinates, so I'm gonna turn it down by 1, 1002, 996. So hopefully that's now gonna spawn it in the correct spot. Okay, I've removed everything that shouldn't be there. If this wall reappears, it's working. Oh, excellent. Very good. So we should have... yeah, perfect. Excellent. Very nice. So I'm quite pleased with this. It's going to be interesting to see how it looks against everything else that Crazy Man builds. I may have to change some block types, but I think that's pretty good. One slight flaw with this design is that it is very directional, which means to build this over there, I'm going to have to do it all by hand because all the coordinates are going to change. But that's okay. I have the time, I'm sure. Yes, they've also added a tell raw command, which is pretty cool. I'm just going to refresh my knowledge on this a second. But basically, at the moment, we have this whole whispering thing going on, where it tells... the reason I'm using whispering rather than say is I only want people in this room to hear it. So I'm going to change this so that rather than whispering it and it's saying at a whispers to you and stuff, which just kind of looks stupid, I'm going to replace it with the new tell raw stuff, and I'll show you how that looks in a second. Okay, so this is what our new command looks like. It's using the tell raw, and it has game starting in, and the color I've decided to set it to yellow because that's sort of the logging in and out thing. I didn't want to use white because that sort of favors the light team, and I think light team messages should be white, dark team messages should be sort of a greyish colour. I don't know if I can give text a border, probably not, but if we ready these two teams, we should see nice yellow bold text without any @ symbols, and that seems like a pretty good way of doing it to me. I don't know, do you think I should change it from saying game starting in 3, 2, 1 to something else, because it's not starting, you're just being teleported over here to the start area, but the game doesn't begin till the wall falls down. So maybe I should change that to say something else, like teleporting to start positions. I don't know, do people have any ideas? I'd like to hear them. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you my new sword, the Command Block Caresser. I have this problem where when I'm editing command blocks, I right click on them and then I press done to finish, and for some reason occasionally when I click the done it also registers as a click in the game and I destroy the command block, and it really sucks, especially for the longer commands. However, if you're holding a sword in your hand you can't break things, so this is my Command Block Caresser. It has sharpness 100 on it, just for good measure in case I'm ever dealing with mobs, but I'm going to try and make this a standard part of my itinerary, and try and just sort of hold it while I'm working, because it's going to be nice not destroying command blocks, and I think I could have well done with having introduced this to myself a while ago. So yeah, that's good. I just had to stop recording for a little bit because I found that my primary hard drive, which is a solid state drive, was out of space. It's not a very big drive, and I discovered that the problem was that Adobe Premiere Pro, which is the editing software I use, has 37 gigabytes of backup files stored on my computer, which is it's quite a lot of space. So I had to delete that, and I'm back now. However, while I was running through all my folders trying to ascertain where on earth all this space is being used up, I did stumble across some screenshots I took of very early designs of Trutenor, when I was trying to sort of explain my concept to Crazy Man. So here they are. This first one is basically the entire floor was going to be made out of lamps. That was my plan, and some lamps would always be lit and unlit to make sure the paths stayed around. But you can see it's quite cool. There's these towers as well where it was very easy to visibly see. This was, I think, before command blocks were around. I made this, so there was no way of broadcasting messages saying that the node had been captured. So I had these huge glowing towers above each node, which would either be striped dark and light, or fully light or dark, indicating the sort of capture status. And this here was a very early idea I had for the team selection room, which looks horrible, but it was my first attempt at that. And yeah, the current spawn hub, this thing here, this was hours of work. Nick Vegas came on, we were umming and ahhing for quite a while, so I think this looks quite a bit better than that first design. So this is turning into a little bit of a nitty-gritty, this and thatty, bits and bobsy kind of episode, which is not really how I wanted to make these episodes, but every now and again, let's get a proper sword going here. Every now and again there are things that need doing which I feel are vaguely interesting enough to talk about, and so I guess this is going to be one of those episodes. I hope you don't mind too much. One of the things, the little itty bitty things, is we're up in the lobby at the moment, just above the lobby. This is the piston which cuts off the water flow so that people in adventure mode can't get up, which is sort of a cruel little joke. But what it also does is it heals your health if you're on low health in the lobby, and it's also supposed to heal your hunger. But I had a quick look on the bug tracker just now. If I copy this, you can see my hunger is currently at half, and this command block is constantly being powered. 1, 2. Oh, I've just had a thought. I was gonna say, like, potions of saturation are broken, and I think I was going to say that it doesn't work with the command block either. I've just realised this is very close to that comparator. If I put this here and put that in there, and I put redstone on here, well, did it not? Oh, right. Good grief. I need to be in creative. It works! Okay, I take it all back. My health has been healed. Great. So it's this thing. I'm using this this clock here with the comparator, but up to here, these three here, it doesn't actually fully turn the redstone off. It just gives off a very weak signal. So what was happening is that this command block here wasn't being broken, wasn't being powered. So I fixed one of the problems, a problem that I thought couldn't be fixed. Great. This is great. So I can now leave this be. This is now done. How does this go back together again? There and there. There we go. I've also added a new button up on the settings panel, which is this one just here. This one just here. Nope. Oh man, this one. This one just here. Allow friendly fire. That saturation effect is annoying. Look at those particles. I may have to see whether I can make it detect if you're hungry and give you the hunger effect only then. I probably can do that. Friendly fire is already an existing setting for teams, and the game isn't really dependent on whether you can shoot your comrades or not. It will just simply slightly change your play style, I think. So you can see over here, it's simply scoreboard teams option dark, friendly fire false, and the same on true, and for the light team as well. So fairly nice. I'm going to have a look at this saturation effect again a second. It doesn't look like I can actually detect saturation. Correct me if I'm wrong, please, but it looks like I have forgotten about this, and I set up a scoreboard which measures the health of every player, and you can't measure the saturation of a player with a scoreboard. You can only measure health, deaths, and things like that, but that's actually really annoying. It's just saturation 2 all the time. I could probably dim that down a little bit, actually. Let's put 0 there. Saturation standard. But I don't know, I find swirly particles really annoying. Look at that. And everyone is just going to look ill and slightly drugged up if I do that. I don't really want to give them food in the lobby. I don't really know what to do. Maybe one thing I could do is wait until they're starving, detect that they're losing health, and simply update your saturation if your health isn't on top of things. So, like this. So, if they're not on full health, it will give them 10 seconds of saturation, and that's probably more than they need, really. 5 seconds of saturation, and it won't otherwise bother them. I think that might be good. So I should have no swirlies on me now because I'm at full health. If I just find something to jump off of. Where's my... If I leave too many holes in this glass roof, it's just going to not be a glass roof anymore, is it? It's just going to be a mess of holes. Okay, right, so game mode 0. I'm going to build up some hunger points. 1 second. Okay, well, I gave up waiting. I seem to have a really high saturation, so instead I've just given myself a hunger effect to lower it. Okay, right, let's try this. We're gonna throw ourselves off here, and we should see that my hearts, like, there's no swirlies at the moment. I have no saturation effect. If I drop down, hearts are instantly replenished, and so is my hunger. It's my saturation. That seems to work pretty well. So the only downside with this is if people are running around and their saturation drops, they certainly won't be able to sprint anymore unless they take damage. I suppose that's not too much of an issue. People don't have to sprint, and if if they want, if they're that desperate for a sprint fix, then they can jump off something high and it will give them a saturation effect again. So it's better than what I had before, which was nothing. Okay, well, there's one sort of little mishmash hodgepodge thing I can think of doing for this episode, and then I think we're going to call it for today. At the moment, everybody is teleported to this exact point, and so you end up here and you're in somebody's face, or somebody's in your face. Everybody's in everybody's space. So I'm going to try and replace the teleport command with this spread players command, which I've never used before, but what it should do is randomly place all the players on a team somewhere in this square. I think that would work fine, and that way, there's just a little bit of spacing between people. For the main hub, I have a little box down here which has 4 locations that players could be spawned, and at every time a person goes through, you can see it moves that repeater along one, and so that way everybody gets spread out nicely. But spread player seems to be a much simpler way of doing that. Let me just get my sword. So I'll set that up now. By the way, have you seen this? Look at that. That's strange, eh? I've just had a look at the syntax for spread players, and you can't specify a Y, only an X and a Z, which suggests to me that they will be spawned on the highest block, so the air space, which means for now it would work fine, but if we wanted to, and it would be very likely the case that we wanted a roof on here, I think the spread players command would spawn us on the roof rather than in this chamber, so I don't think I'm actually going to be able to use that, which is a shame. I don't see any other way how it could tell without a Y coordinate. Makes sense, I suppose, but I guess I will just have to deal with it. I love this sword. So that was it for this episode. What do you guys think about using yellow text for the team readies over here for these messages? Do you think yellow is a good colour? And the other question I have for you guys is, I have to run. I'm not on a team, it's fine. My other question is there anything you particularly wanted me to show you in this series? And how are you finding the series so far? Is there something you'd like to see me change about the way I make these videos? Am I giving you too much information about every little detail, or am I not showing you enough? Some feedback would be great. We're on episode 7, so it's been going for a little while now. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.